Hey guys, welcome to part 5 of the Seadoo series. Tonight I'm going to be working on disassembling the engine and doing a better inspection of the cylinders, pistons, stuff like that. I may pull the crank counterbalance, pull the head off, all that good stuff. But I'm just going to take you along with me and show you everything I go through. Alright, so I was able to get the timing cover off. Sorry I couldn't record it. I left my camera at the house, so I'm just using my phone here. But as you can see, there's a little bit of metal flake right there. A little bit of metal flake. I suspect it's just, you know, the bearings from the supercharger, but the oil, it's a little milky, so I'm gonna pull the head off. But it's got very fine particles in here. I don't know if it's the I don't think it's bearings on the crank or main, or rods or main, but we'll see. So I'll update you guys in a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can make some more progress and pull this pan off. Alright, so I was able to get the lower oil pan off. The bearings and crank actually look pretty good. And again, sorry I can't record this when doing it because I can't hold my phone and take it apart at the same time. But the bearings are pretty smooth. Here, I'll show you the oil pan here. That's probably the worst bearing, these two. But the crank itself is actually pretty good. There is all this, you know, milky, watery debris. I don't know if that's from sitting too long or if it's from actual coolant. Not really sure. But I do have some debris inside of the pan here. But outside of that, everything actually seems okay. I will go ahead and I'll pull that off and get my timing marks, get all that set, pull the head off. I'll probably just pull the head off, just do a full thorough inspection of the ski, and go from there. But yeah, everything seems okay with this motor. I forgot to mention too, these plugs go on the oil pan right there. They are a T55, and you pull them off, and then that gives you access to your main bolts, which are a E14. I had to use my 1/2-inch impact here to zip them off with, but I'm sure it says that in the manual. I wasn't reading the manual, so I didn't know, but I just thought I'd share that information with you guys. And you just gently tap it up. There's a tab on this side of the pan and a tab on this side of the pan that you can tap up on. I was using a brass hammer, so I didn't damage the pan too much because it all is just aluminum. So just wanted to give you that extra little tidbit of information. And you will have to remove all the engine mounts to pull the lower pan off. You got to pull the cooler off, obviously your timing cover, which isn't too bad. You do pull off this crank sensor here. You got to pull that off, and I think that's about it. And then you just undo all the bolts on the perimeter, and the gasket holds it on pretty well. It'll feel like you're missing something, but you're not. And you have to pull off the oil fill, so you got to pull that off with the, I guess this is the auxiliary oil pump, main oil pump. I have no idea. It's a pump, so you pull that off. And everything's on the side of this motor, or front, back, whatever you want to look at. It's all E10s or E8s. So you can just use a 3/8 1/4 inch or a 3/8 cordless impact, and that should zip most of them off. And then for the bigger stuff, like those caps on the oil pan, like I said, I had to use my 1/2-inch drive impact to get them all off with. a decent amount of sludge on that. A lot of rust too, but it's just surface rust. Before you start attacking me in the comments, yes, I realize I should have probably done this before I pulled that, but my curiosity got the best of me. So I'm doing this a little backwards than the normal way. Well, I found one of those in the oil pan when I took it off. It was actually stuck in the pickup screen, so I guess that's where it fell into. Gosh dang it. Oh, good thing I pulled that out. Counterbalance feels really good. I don't feel any grooves, nothing. The bearings actually look pretty good. I am just gonna end up getting a whole fresh bearing set though, just cause. And then I plan on getting some emery cloth, some fine emery cloth, and just hitting this again. I mean, you can't feel anything. I mean, it is just smooth the whole way. I mean, my fingernail's not catching on anything. So I might just clean it up. Or I will clean it up. It's not a might. I will clean it up. I will say though, no matter how long I drained this engine for, and I probably was impatient to an extent, but there's just oil that just keeps coming out of this block. I mean, golly, it only holds like, what, 3.5 quarts or something like that? And this sucker just keeps leaking. It's crazy to me how much oil drips out of this motor. I guess you gotta pull the rocker arms off. And these spark plug extension tubes. Yeah. So pull off these spark plug extension tubes here. Once these are out, then you get your, I think those are E10s. I'm going to go ahead and remove the starter Bendix too, that way I don't forget. I don't want to spin this engine over and then it just falls out. Alright, here's my E10. Alright, well, I didn't know this. These are full floating. I mean, look at that. Looks like you're just sliding away. In audio. Camshaft looks good. I don't see any excessive wear on it. Valves look all right. I don't see any obvious signs of damage. Wow, those were concerningly loose. Great. See if I can use a long internal Torx to get this 5mm internal hex head socket out. Alright, T30 it is. See if this T30 will get this 5mm out. It's a little bit rounded off, apparently. All right. I guess sliding that guide out makes it easier. I don't know. We'll find out here shortly. Oh yeah. Make sure you slide that guide out. All right. There's your cam gear.
In audio.
All right, we can take the head off now. That is an E14. Huh. That's interesting. You have two E8s up in there. I didn't know that. Well, let me go ahead and undo those real quick before I forget. It's so interesting, Seadoo put two little E8 bolts on the end there. Let's pull this cam. I'm curious to see what it looks like. I guess there's the cam retainer plate. Seems all right. This cam looks perfectly fine. No gouging. And I wouldn't expect it to have something. This engine only has 90 hours on it, but it looks pretty good if you ask me. Let's pull this head off. Oh look, more oil. Holy crap, dude. Got some corrosion on the intake valves. Outside of that, it looks fine. Head gasket looks good. Cylinder head looks good, or block looks good. There's a little corrosion on the cylinders, but you can't feel anything. It's smooth. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this engine back over the right way and pull the crank out. Well, knock the pistons out and rods and then pull the crank out. Whoops, hey now. That's easier than I thought it would be. Oh, it's a 10 millimeter 12 point. All right, we'll take these out one by one. Oh, look at that. These are broken rod caps. That's pretty neat. Bearings are showing signs of wear, but I don't feel anything. Let's push this out. Oh, geez, that slides out really easy. And of course, more oil. And when I was turning it over in the other videos, or before the other videos, a little off camera, this thing smoked a ton. So I don't know if it's the rings that are shot or what, but let's keep taking this sucker apart. That bearing looks pretty good. Yeah, my finger catches on that part of the bearing. This first piston I took out, the crank is smooth as can be. No catching. No catching. I'm going to go ahead and mark these rods too, because I don't see anything that easily indicates which ones are what. So I'm going to indicate it myself. I don't know where the bearings for the supercharger went. Maybe they just disintegrated. I don't know, but I haven't found a single ball bearing in this engine yet. And I'm riding on the side of the connecting rod that faces towards the timing cover. Just, I don't know, just cause. It's a 21 mil. So your oil pressure switch or sensor, if I can get the socket off, is a 21 millimeter. Golly, that sucker's on there. I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect every plug, port, tensioner, everything. Just make it a bare block. And I'm going to take this block and probably take the block, the head, probably take the timing cover off out there too, and just degrease everything as best I can, scrub everything out as best I can, and just really give all the big parts a nice cleaning, because they definitely need it. Just so you guys know, this plug right here on the side of the block is a 6 millimeter. This plug right here for the chain tensioner is an 8 millimeter. And this plug right here, which I believe is for coolant, is a 10 millimeter. Yep, that's for coolant. The piston oil squirters are a 6 millimeter internal hex socket. And you may be wondering, why do I call this style socket an internal hex? Well, that's because that's what it is. A lot of people call them Allen keys or Allen sockets. Well, to an extent they're correct, but Allen is a name brand marketing. So it's just a brand. It's like saying Loctite for thread locker or chapstick for lip balm. These are technically called internal hex sockets. This is a oil, oh shoot, that goes right through. I guess that's an oil galley. Well, I know it's an oil galley, it had oil on it. This is a 10 millimeter plug. Alright, I'm going to make this the end of this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching it. I spent about it was about 2 hours just cleaning up the block, the head surface, and the mating surface for the oil pan with this scraper as carefully as I could, being careful to not nick the aluminum. Just focus on scraping the sealant that they use between the two halves. And I just saw what time it was. So I'm gonna call it, or I'm gonna put a pause on this part of the series or this episode. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe, share it to whoever you might think would find this interesting. And thanks for watching.